Hello everyone, and this video idea I got from someone from my Discord. So if you want to suggest ideas for me or other things or just talk with people, you can just go down to the description and just join the Discord. Anyway, in this video we are going to be talking about which aliens can and cannot be scanned by the Omnitrix, and well, we'll most likely get into the details as we talk about each creature, alien, whatever. So let's get started on the first one. First off, we're going to be talking about Reptar, and he is a little weird one because he is technically a mutant, but he is a mutant T-Rex. And then we'd have to think, okay, well, would a T-Rex be scannable in terms of the Omnitrix? And personally, I would probably say no, mainly because of them not being intelligent enough to be scanned, because the two things you need to be scanned by the Omnitrix at all is you have to have some form of DNA. It doesn't have to literally be DNA, just some type of equivalent is all that you need, and you need to be intelligent enough to be scanned by it. He probably would not be scannable, regardless if he's a mutant or not, because I think the Omnitrix can scan mutants. It just kind of protects the user against them, but he might be scannable. I'll put him as like a maybe. Like he might be scannable, but because he's a T-Rex, that might be put in the way. So it's most likely a no, but I'll lean towards a maybe for this one. The next group, I guess, will be Bakugan, and if we're talking about like their normal like average ball forms, then that's most likely a no, since they're basically kind of constricted into like this toy-like state. But if we're talking about them when they're like walking around in New Vestroia, or just Vestroia in general, then most likely, yeah, they can be scannable, or at least the intelligent ones can, like, you know, the main characters, one like Drago, or whatever his name is, and the other casts, Bakugan as well. I'll probably put them on screen. But I'd most likely say the Bakugan can be scanned. I wouldn't see I wouldn't see there being a reason for them not being scannable, because they are flesh and blood creatures, so they most likely will have DNA. So for the Bakugan, they are definitely a yes, or in their normal forms at least. The next group of, I guess, aliens would be the Ultralinks, and these guys are like a kind of biomechanical like race or whatever, so I mean, these guys are pretty easy. Yeah, no, they most likely will or can be scannable. At first, when I looked at them, I thought they were just like purely mechanical, but they are actually biomechanical and can even interface themselves into machines, kind of similarly to galvanic mechamorphs, or kind of, but not really. So they probably would be considered scannable by the Omnitrix, and most of them should be, or at least in Steel's case, should be scannable in terms of intelligence. So this one's a definite yes. The next ones that we're gonna do are Cybertronians, and well, yeah, these ones are a little weird because they are considered robotic organisms, aka they're just straight up robots. Like there's nothing organic about them. The one weird thing is that they also apparently have or are made up of a special type of metal that is essentially living metal and acts like organic matter. So there's a possibility that they have their own form of DNA, although not exactly being literal DNA. So it's possible that they could be scanned. So personally, I think yes, they can be scanned, but even if there's a possibility that it's not possible at all for them being scanned, then they could have like a little nanomech situation. If you don't know, the whole thing with nanomech is that nanomech is also technically biomechanical, although the race that he is based off of is purely mechanical. So they could make something similar to him, aka being like half human, half Cybertronian. So personally, I think, yeah, they are scannable. The next group of aliens that we're going to talk about are specifically Xenomorphs, and I'm just going to go out and say, yeah, no, this is a straight up no. For one, I don't even know if they have anything that would be considered DNA, but they are technically kind of mutants, or like a form of parasites. Similar enough to xenocytes, but not exactly the same, but whatever. I'll continue that train of thought with the next alien, but anyway. Not only that, but they also kind of, yeah, they're not intelligent enough. They do have a hive and have some sort of intelligence, but it's not like, or it's not considered enough, or at least in my eyes, to be scannable to the Omnitrix. So personally, I would say Xenomorphs are a dead, straight up no. So, yeah. The next one we are going to talk about is specifically the Flood from Halo, and yeah, they are also, or at least in my eyes, a no. Because although they can technically gather information by infecting individuals because they are a parasite, they don't naturally just have intelligence on them in their infected form. They only get it after they infect someone. So naturally, they are not smart enough to be scanned by the Omnitrix itself. So yeah, this one's an immediate no. Continuing on with the whole, Halo stuff, I will continue with the Sangili, which would obviously be a yes, because, well, they got flesh and bone and all that. Also, yeah, that's the canon name for the elites. They're called the Sangili, or at least I think that's how you say it. So yeah, they are a yes. To finish that thought on the rest of the Halo aliens, most of them should really be viable for the Omnitrix, because, well, I mean, most of them are flesh and blood. So like the grunts, the jackals, the brutes, all of them should be logically smart enough based off of what I've seen from them and stuff, although sometimes some of them do act very animal-like, but that's few and far between. Even the Forerunners should be should be counted in this as well. The only one that I'm a little bit iffy on are the Hunters, mainly because they are the whole thing that you see in the games or whatever, that's a collection of these little worms. So that's the only one that I'm a little bit worried about. But if the worms themselves are, if they have mental processes and they can think for themselves besides being a part of their hive or whatever, then yeah, they should be scannable. But based off of what I've searched, I haven't found anything about it. But they seem intelligent enough, so I'm gonna say it's a maybe with the Hunters. The next one we're going to be talking about, since the movie is probably going to be out by now, is Mothra. She should be in the movie, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. I haven't watched the movie as of making this video, so she could not be. But I would think, yeah, she is most definitely able to be scanned by the Omnitrix. She should have DNA, radioactive, it may be, possibly, and she is definitely intelligent enough as she can converse with people both in the Japanese movies and in the actual MonsterVerse movies. So I would say she is most definitely a yes. The next ones that we're going to talk about are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which they have the same problem as Reptar, that being they are mutant versions of an already existing animal. So we'd have to think, would those animals be scannable? And no, turtles probably would not be scannable because mainly, although they have DNA, are not intelligent enough. Though them by themselves, if we take away the safeguards, should be scannable as just a mutant transformation. So them by themselves as mutants is a maybe. So I'm just gonna say they are a maybe, just like Reptar. The next group of aliens, I guess you can call them, are gonna be just Digimon in general. And personally, I think they are probably either a yes or a maybe, depending on how you take this. Because, yes, Digimon are made up of data, but technically that is, you know, that doesn't take them out of the running, or at least in my eyes, because, well, they can show up in the digital or in the real world, not just the digital world. So it's, you know, they have something physical there. So the, you know, the data part would probably represent their DNA, possibly. And they do have like this center core thing, which makes them be them, and it's called a digicore. So I think it's possible, although we'd have, again, a nanomech situation going on where essentially it would make its own transformation based off of the, you know, what it scanned, and it would probably just make a brand new Digimon, which could be cool. So I'm just gonna say a maybe for Digimon. The next species we're going to talk about is cursed spirits, and I'm just gonna flat out say it's most likely a no. I physically want to say yes, but like I can't, because they are inherently energy-based beings, and the showrunners or the writers or whatever specifically said that Anodites can or aren't scannable because they're pure energy beings, which seems dumb to me, since, you know, there are little robots, you know, in the Omnitrix, and they don't give an explanation on them, or at least, you know, I haven't seen an explanation on them, but, you know, whatever. They say pure energy beings don't work, then they don't work. So, sadly, cursed spirits who are made completely out of cursed energy, which is technically an energy, probably won't work, so, sorry. The next race we will talk about, or races, since I'm just gonna clump them all together, that being Saiyans. I mean, they have flesh and blood, we know this, we know that their DNA can be taken in the form of cell, so yeah, they are a yes, along with other races from like DC and Marvel, including Kryptonians like Superman, and the many other races from both, well, Marvel and DC. So yeah, they are a given. I mean, why wouldn't they be a yes? Although two things I'm pretty sure that exist in, you know, DC that are probably a maybe and are the closest to nanomech would probably be the power rings, aka from the Green Lanterns, or any lanterns really, since any of them should work for this, and the scarabs. Since they are supposed to be able to combat Green Lanterns, but whatever. Both of them have AIs and stuff like that, and they could make a construct similar to Nanomech, where it's like half human, half Green Lantern ring / scarab or whatever. I could see it happening. Like, it could be interesting. So I'd say this is probably a maybe, leaning towards yes. This is the most yes out of all the maybes, probably. And the last one we're going to talk about, or at least, you know, for this video, is Pokemon. And I would say most of them should probably qualify, as long as they are at least as smart as like Meowth or even Pikachu, or Ash's Pikachu at least. So I'd say maybe, it just depends on the Pokemon. So like Lucario, Mewtwo, most legendaries should count specifically, you know, towards them being, I guess, intelligent enough. And that will be all the races / species that I will be talking about in this video. If you guys want to, you know, suggest other videos for me, or even, you know, other things pertaining towards this topic, then you can, you know, go down to my Discord in the description, or it should be in the description. We talk about, you know, different other things. You can converse with each other, stuff, you know, just a bunch of different stuff. So it should be down there. If you guys want to, you know, see more videos like this, then go down in the comments and, you know, give me suggestions so I could make a sequel to this video. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. There's also memberships if you want to, you know, support me, or I guess my Patreon is also there. But anyway, I appreciate all you guys watching this video, and yeah, that'll be all.